So speak about the transparency within your music and like you said, to that point, being able to relate coming from the streets and telling real stories. I think a lot of times you've got a little flack over the years for being so transparent. So speak to that.
Yeah, I didn't get into this, I got into this because, God took an individual who was trying to figure out who he was supposed to be, and I didn't grow up in church, you know what I mean? I didn't become a Christian until I was a grown man. So for me, I don't have anything, like I'm not trying to play the church game. I'm not trying to, act holier than thou. If I fall, I fall. And I'm gonna tell you, if it's your business, you know what I'm saying? But somebody gonna know, and I just wanna keep it 100 because people relate to that. I was just at a prison and it's like, I'm dealing with all kinds of folks, people who done, took lives and, sex offenders, all kinds of stuff. And it's like, man, if God can't save them, who can he save? And if he can't save them, he can save anybody. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, I'm like, I've seen individuals' lives transformed in those type of situations, those type of backgrounds. And I'm like, man, this is where it need to be at. So I'm always gonna stand up for people who on the margins. I'm gonna stand up for people who everybody else is like looking down on. I'm always gonna be trying to bridge the gap and fill in as an advocate.
That sounds like Matthew 25 to me.
Yeah.
Why do you think so many people don't do that? Because do you feel like as a believer, we all should be called to some form of evangelism, to street ministry or outreach?
Yeah, I think a lot of times people look at folks as like it's their fault that they're in the situations that they're in. You know what I'm saying? Instead of saying, what did you do? They should say, what happened to you? Because that young man who's in prison right now for what he did, what's his story? What did he experience? Maybe his father was in prison his whole life. Maybe his, brother got killed or he witnessed a lot of traumatic things. And so a lot of times, man, we're so busy condemning other people instead of loving people. There's only two real responses to sin: forgiveness and repentance. You know what I'm saying? So everything else, judgment is not supposed to be our space to be judging and condemning people. It's our space to be able to say, man, look, Jesus provides an opportunity and a way for you. And so I think people don't want to do it because it makes them feel better about themselves to look down on somebody else instead of trying to reach back and see themselves in that broken person's life.
Yeah, that's crazy. We don't want to look ourselves in the mirror and check ourselves.
Exactly.
You're right. To your point, it's easy to say what you're doing, but what are you doing?
Exactly.